All right, today I bring you all of the news for the JP 4th anniversary, at least all of the news that we know about so far. Will there be a part 2? Typically in the past there hasn't been, so I'm going to do my best not to be salty because I think this is all we're getting for the JP anniversary. And while there are good things, there's definitely very, very good things. There's still one major problem for me. And that is, I don't see any new game modes or content or stuff like that, okay? And before somebody tells me that Climax Battle is new content, like it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean when I say new game mode. So, we're gonna go over all of the stuff coming to the game for My Hero Ultra Impact for the JP 4th anniversary. The 4th anniversary is typically when like the big update happens where a lot of things change for the game. So we are getting some changes, but really they're just changes to the summoning system, and it's not even new animations, not new summon animations. They could surprise us, but nothing confirmed on that yet either. I highly doubt it. So we have first off the 4th anniversary login bonus part 2. This is going to be available starting from May 22nd until June 7th, so in about a day. On day 1, you'll get 5 4th anniversary recruit tickets. On day 2, you'll get 50 stamina. On day 3, you'll get 50 hero gems. On day 4, you'll get 100 stamina. On day 5, you'll get another 5 recruit tickets for the 4th anniversary banner. That's the one with the memory. Day 6, you'll get 50 more hero gems. And day 7, you will get 2 recruit tickets. From my understanding, day 7 is just the silver tickets, okay, not the 4th anniversary tickets. And then we are going to be getting the JP 4th anniversary login bonus part 3. This one will be running from May 30th until June 15th, so you guys have plenty of time to log in for 7 days within that time frame to get these rewards. And so day 1, you will get 3 4th anniversary tickets. Day 2, you'll get 50 hero gems. Day 3, you'll get 3 4th anniversary tickets again. Day 4, you'll get 50 more hero gems. Day 5, you'll get 4 4th anniversary tickets. Day 6, you'll get recruit tickets times 2, meaning silver tickets. And day 7, you will get 5 more 4th anniversary recruit tickets. So a lot of free recruit tickets incoming if you've already used up your tickets on that 4th anniversary banner. Now is your chance to get more, save them up, and be able to summon some more. You also should be getting some more through missions, so be on the lookout for those as well. Now, besides that, we are also getting some new backgrounds for the game. It hasn't been explicitly said how we're going to get these backgrounds, if it's going to be missions, gift box, or if they ever even become available to players. They definitely have a lot of backgrounds in the game that aren't even available to players yet, but this, I think the fantasy backgrounds in general, like, I think these look really cool. I would love to see these in the game with my characters in front of them. I'm actually excited for these. Backgrounds get me excited, and they just, like, don't do anything with them. They need to make them, like, rewards. It's such an easy thing to add into the game, right? They need to make them rewards for, like, beating content in the game. Or, like, tell me to beat a climax battle with certain characters, and I get this, right? Add more conditions. If you're not going to add new content to the game, add new conditions to climax battle. They have been doing that a little bit recently with, like, the extra medals, saying, like, beat it with these certain conditions, you get these medals, right? Which I like, but they need to do even more of that, in my opinion. Now, besides all of that, we are getting some gift box items. So if you guys haven't already logged in, some of these gift box items are already there in your gift box, all the way up to right here where there's 100 hero gems. You would have got this for the 4th anniversary on the 19th. And then as of today, after the maintenance, you could have got another 50 hero gems. So all of these are available to you if you have not been logging into the game. Make sure you log in and claim those. There are some drop rate up campaigns coming up. The ×5 main quest ones are the ones you want to pay attention for. The main quest normal and main quest hard, because that is how you level up your character ability boards, is by using skip tickets on those stages. ×5 drop rates are really good. I wish they would have upped it a little bit. They've upped it every year except for this year. So, but ×5 is still good. But honestly, my stamina, like, I could use free stamina refreshes. They could do a lot. There's plenty of characters. I have been farming the game since day 1. I'm still nowhere near completing all of my characters' ability boards because there's just not enough stamina, right? So they could definitely afford to give us more than ×5 drop rates, in my opinion. But we got ×5 drop rates coming up on the 24th through the 25th. We have ×5 drop rates coming up on the 31st through the 1st. And then again, it'll be coming up on the 7th through the 8th, and then again it'll be coming up on the 14th through the 15th. So essentially the anniversary is going to go all the way until the 15th because these are on every weekend of the anniversary. So there is still time for more information to come out for the anniversary, but we don't know what could potentially happen or if they'll even do anything. Okay, I just had to put that out there. Historically, they have not done a part 2. I'm probably writing the copium train at this point, hoping that there's going to be more than what we're about to talk about and that we'll get new events. So we are getting the typical events run, just like how we had the Mirko event. We're going to have a Demon Lord Showdown UA Legends event with its own unique story. The stories are cool, but like I get bored with these. You know, there's no challenge in these. It is free hero gems, so that's good for most players. Then we are getting a new Climax Battle with this Shigaraki. People have been literally waiting for this Shigaraki. I'm actually I might be more excited, I'm not gonna lie to you, for the free-to-play Climax Battle character than I am for Fantasy version 3. Like, Todoroki actually looks kind of clean, but I don't know. I'm having trouble getting myself hyped up for these fantasy characters because it's just another fantasy character. Pirate characters would have been a lot cooler. They could have done so many other things, but no, we're doing fantasy again. So I don't know how I feel about it, but it is what it is. The Climax Battle looks cool. It should be interesting. And then we have all of these banners here coming up. So these two are already, you know, going on. But then we're gonna, and this one's already going on technically. But then we're gonna get a step up for the new fantasy characters. We're gonna get a Ultra Impact character select recruit. We will get a villain character custom recruit and a hero character custom recruit. So these are two new things that are coming to the game. They have never been in the game before, and I love that they can update their gacha system, you know, the thing that makes them money, but they can't update the actual game itself to make it more like playable, fun to play. I don't know what you say at this point, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting upset over nothing. Maybe they'll do something, but I don't see it happening. So we'll talk about all these banners, and mainly if I think this banner, or this banner are worth pulling on. This banner is obviously worth pulling on because these characters should ideally be pretty good. I will say I didn't like the steampunk characters from last year that much. Like, their kits were not all that great to me. So hopefully these characters will be good, but I have already looked through the new Deku and Todoroki's kits, and let's just say they look interesting. They do look interesting. Okay, so Shigaraki's Climax Battle is going to recommend that you bring characters with Piercing Shot, Power Down, and Vulnerable. By the way, new characters who have Vulnerable, the new Deku, obviously, but then Lady Nagant, the Green Lady Nagant, if anyone's not really had a use for that yet, well, she'll probably be useful in this Climax Battle. Piercing Shot, plenty of characters have Piercing Shot. Green Sue, our OG fantasy Sue, can probably be brought into this, I imagine. You also want Cancel Status Elements, you also want Power Down, right? All of these things the new Green Deku has. So this Climax Battle, in case you don't know, is literally designed to make the new Fantasy version 3 Deku look good. Okay, so just keep that in mind. They always do this. They run the Climax Battle with a new character, so that new character feels like they're a must pull. You can complete it without the new character. I will, of course, attempt to complete it without the new character and show you guys that. It's just going to be probably astronomically harder. At least that's how it's been in the past. So this Shigaraki, his traits, he's going to take reduced burning and bleeding damage and has immunity to Skill Seal, Confusion, Paralysis, Binding, Fear, Freezing, Meat Lump, Stun, Scorch, Buff Block, and Recovery Block. Essentially, damn near everything. Like crazy. He gains speed down after temporary status elements of his opponents are cancelled 2 times. Gains resilience after receiving 6 attacks from opponents with defense down. Gains enhance when these 2 conditions are met at the end of a turn. He has resilience, and after 6 turns pass. So after 6 turns pass in battle, he's going to get enhanced, meaning his stats are going to be increased, and he might get additional effects for his kit. After receiving 1 attack from a red type character, gains HP restoration and gives defense down to all of his opponents, so don't run red characters. After receiving 1 attack from a yellow type character, gains HP restoration and gives defense down to all of his opponents, so don't run yellow characters either. So you can run green, purple, blue. Do not run red and yellow characters. They will not work for you. And then gives power up to all of his opponents after receiving 70,000 or more skill damage. Every time his HP falls to a set amount or lower, a new phase begins and his behavior patterns change. Right? So looks like an interesting character. I'm not going to go through the rest of this because it's just, I'll go through it when we actually get to the Climax Battle. I don't want to make the video too long, but in general, just know that these are the skills you want. Don't bring red and yellow characters, right? So that is the new Climax Battle for Shigaraki. I will go over it with a guide when that Climax Battle releases. Now, as for the new banners, this is the banner that's going to be coming up first, actually, the Step Up banner, so you won't have to wait. It's coming out on 5/23, so literally 2 days from recording this, and it will run until 6/15. So it's going to run the entirety of the anniversary. It looks like it's going to run for a while. I don't know, once again, if they're going to throw in another banner or not. I feel like probably not. Typically, it's been 2 characters released in the past for an anniversary, but they could do something new. You never know. I'm hoping, I'm coping. I don't know what else to say. It is a Step Up banner. 250 for the first one, 500, 500, 250 for the fourth one, and 500 for the last one. You do get the pretty much all the same stuff you've gotten in the past. So, this one's half off. This one's 1.5 times rates. This one, you get a UR memory guaranteed. This one, you get a half off again. And then the final one, you get a guaranteed UR character. Not the guaranteed UR character, but a guaranteed UR character. And these are the memories and characters that are featured on this banner. So actually 2 new UR memories, 1 for each of the characters. They are literally made specifically for the characters, and 2 new characters. In terms of somebody on this banner, should you? Yes, absolutely. Anniversary banners are the best banners every single year for the most part. Okay, we'll talk more about the characters, the memories, and all that stuff here in a second. Let's talk about the other banners first, though. So we have the Ultra Impact Character Select Recruit. This is going to be a discounted banner with pretty much all of these characters right here. Okay, so 200 pity for this banner. You do not get to pick which character you want on this banner. The Character Select Recruit is kind of definitely actually majorly misleading. But if you want any of these characters, I still wouldn't summon on this banner. I highly recommend nobody summons on this banner. The Reduced Pity is just to bait you. It's so not worth it. If you're going to summon on any banner, it should definitely be this banner or one of the 2 new banners where you're actually able to pick the rated up characters you want. So this has been in plenty of other gacha games. It's finally making its way to Ultra Impact after 4 years. And I'm hoping I'm understanding this right, because there wasn't a whole lot of explanation with it, but choose the 3 UR character drops you want to see. So I believe it's not going to like guarantee that if you pull a UR, you get one of those 3. If it is that way, that's sick. That's amazing. But I imagine it's just going to rate up those 3 characters and you're more likely to pull them. So on this banner right here, there's a villain one and a hero one. The villain one, you can get any of these characters, and pity is reduced on this banner too, which is huge. So if I was to say you like which characters you should get here or which ones you should rate up, I would personally probably go for Compress. Compress is probably my #1 choice for characters that you want to rate up. And then I would probably say Toga is #2 in my opinion. Red Toga is really, really good. And then from there, it's kind of up to you. I would say it's between 3 options. I would say between Blue Dobby, Green Nagant, and maybe Purple All for One. This Purple All for One to be more specific, because there is 2. Or maybe even Green Dobby. Yeah, but those are kind of my options for the 3rd choice. But the first 2 choices I think should be Compress and Toga. At least in my experience, those 2 characters are very good. So if you did want to summon on this banner, it's not a terrible banner. Pity's reduced and you have a higher chance to get the character you want. I do think that's kind of nice. And then we have the hero version of choose 3 UR characters you want to see. This one is actually looking pretty good with the character selection here. There's definitely bad characters as well, though. Okay, but look at this one. I think it's going to be harder to pull the character you want on this one as opposed to the villain one, because there are so many more heroes. I don't exactly know, once again, if it's just rating up the 3 characters or if it's like you're guaranteed to get one of the 3 characters you pick. If it's guaranteed, absolutely summon on this banner. If it's not guaranteed to get one of the 3 characters you pick, then that's a little bit more iffy for you, right? But in general, out of the characters that are here, I mean, full 100% Deku as a general pool unit is kind of a staple. I think he should be like your #1 pick. He's still insanely good, insanely broken, a lot of fun to play as, and a very good character. And then the new Mount Lady, the seasonal Mount Lady, I don't even know. Like, it feels like she should be a special character, but somehow she's general pool. I think she's really good. Definitely worth getting. She can solo a Climax Battle, like no joke. I did a video on it. She can literally solo one of the Climax Battles by herself. Very good character. And then for the rest of these, I don't really know who the 3rd pick would be, honestly. I feel like all these other characters are kind of like, it just depends on what you need, right? So if you need a specific character, that would probably be your 3rd pick. In general, looking at the characters that are available, I probably lean, notice Nagant's on both banners, by the way, Green Nagant. Actually, is purple on there too? I think purple's on both as well. Yeah, purple's on both as well. Nagant's on both. So if you want to get Nagant, I'll probably do it on this banner because there's less characters. But probably my third pick, realistically, I think I lean towards Red Bakugo right here. I actually think I kind of rate him as a general pool Bakugo. He's not bad. Personally, though, I would want Toru right here. It is the one general pool I'm missing, so I would be happy to get her if I can rate. I'll take a look at the rate up banner, of course, when it comes out and see if it's worth summoning on or if it just rates them. Like if it guarantees one of the three, I'll definitely do it. If it's just rating up one of the three or rating up the three characters and you have a higher chance, but it's not guaranteed, I may not summon on it. We'll have to see. But this is a nice new feature, good quality of life change for the game, in my opinion, adding these types of banners in. We'll see if they continue. They probably will, just like step-up banners have continued and persisted. Now, as for the memories and the characters, let's finally get into it. The new SR event memory, Monster Slain. Here is the art for it, and potentially... Not potentially, let's be honest, we're getting this Bakugo at some point. It's not a potentially. Bakugo is probably the next one to come out after Todoroki and Deku, okay? But eventually, we'll probably see this Bakugo come out in game. So the art for the memories, pay attention to those because the arts always typically indicate like some of the characters that are probably coming for this set of costumes. So this event memory increases character's power by 20% when equipped by a UA high class 1A character, increases character's speed by 10% every 1 turn up to 4 times. After 2 turns pass while character is burning, reduces cooldown time of all allies by 1 up to 2 times. It's really not a terrible memory for a free-to-play memory, considering it gives you speed, it gives you power, and it reduces action skill cooldown time. This might be one of the better free-to-play event memories I've seen in a while, and this could be actually really good for a new player in my opinion. So if you're newer, definitely worth farming out and getting this free-to-play memory because it can help you a lot. Even just that action skill cooldown time right there can help you out a lot. Now, as for the new UR memory, on to the next strategy. First off, love the art, love this endeavor, love the Hawks. Like, I would prefer these 3 characters over any of the other fantasy characters, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit less Aizawa, because I feel like we already have something like this from the fantasy version 1, but we never got a fantasy version Hawks or a fantasy version Endeavor, so, I mean, they have to come out, right? They have to do it. Like, I thought the same thing with Shigaraki when I saw his art, and they actually did it, so I feel like they have to be thinking about doing it, right? But this one increases character's defense by 30% if there are any UA high students on the team after 2 turns pass while character is in a state of tranquility. Gives character the ability to make a last stand 2 times, up to 2 times, increases character skill impact by 15% after character receives 2 attacks from a scorched opponent up to 3 times. This particular memory right here is designed for the new Todoroki, okay? However, it can be ran on other characters because, like, just straight up, if there's a UA character on the team, you get 30% defense. That's not bad. And then if you have a character that has tranquility, right, they're going to get last stand. So it can be ran on other characters. Todoroki's is a little bit more flexible than Deku's memory, but overall it's still designed for the new Todoroki. And then we have the new Errands at the Market memory. Looking at that art, I really like the art team is always killing it. I really like the art, right? But like, I don't need another fantasy or Araka in the game that looks exactly the same as the old one, but with horns. Like, I don't need that, but like Todoroki does look kind of clean, right? So yeah, I don't know. Increases character's max HP by 45% when equipped by an int type character. That is Deku. Increases character speed by 10% for 3 turns after receiving 1 attack from an ABL type character. Like, it's good to increase speed. The biggest problem with Deku is he doesn't increase speed from the start of battle. And so, like, how useful is this really? And then regenerates character's HP by 20% for 2 turns when character has the ability to overwhelm up to 3 times. So all stuff literally designed for this guy right here will make him much better. Now, finally getting into it, we're going to get into the characters. Actually, because we just went over the memories, I'm going to go over the fantasy characters first and match them up with their memories. So remember, Todoroki's memory was this. Let's go over Todoroki really quickly. So, Todoroki, his plus ultra move is called Frenzied Dance and Slash of Ice Fire. Deals 650% damage to a single opponent, medium chance 40% of burning all opponents for 3 turns. Blocks the recovery of a single opponent for 2 turns when character is in a state of tranquility. So it's not like a guaranteed recovery block is not bad. It's just like, I wish it was on an action skill, but for 2 turns is solid. That means that character will literally not be able to heal for 2 turns. And then if you get the enhancement bonus effect, meaning you're enhanced, this skill gains bullseye if the opponent is scorched. So that's also a nice little addition right there. And then his action skill 1, Icy Heat Wave, deals 350% damage to a single opponent and burns them for 3 turns. A low chance 30% of burning all opponents that are not burning for 3 turns. Increases this skill's skill impact by 30% if the opponent is scorched. Enhancement bonus effect increases this skill impact by 40% if the opponent is scorched. Now, the interesting thing about enhancement bonus effects is like they're good because they increase your base stats and then change your skills a little bit and add additional things onto your skills. But the stipulations for achieving the enhancement are not great in my opinion. Because, well, you'll just see down below. Cooldown time is 4 for that. And then the action skill 2, Fire Dance, deals 325% damage to all opponents, so it is an AoE, probably a multi-hit AoE, which is good. Converts all opponents' burn status to scorch, so if you use skill 1, burn all opponents, and then do this, you'll scorch them, which is going to increase their damage and reduce their HP effects by 10% for 3 turns when character is not enhanced. Gives character piercing shot for 2 turns as well from this skill. Gives character piercing shot for 3 turns if there are any opponents with damage taken restore. Enhancement bonus effects converts all opponents' burn status to scorch. Both increases damage and reduces HP effects by 10% for 3 turns. This effect cannot be nullified or canceled, so that's the main difference here. Without being enhanced, it can be nullified or canceled. With being enhanced, it cannot be nullified or canceled. So that's kind of interesting that they added that effect on there. 5-turn cooldown, but he does have some action skill cooldown time for himself, so that's not a terrible thing. His auto skill 1 is rapid temperature change. So gives character enhance when these 2 conditions are met at the end of a turn. So here's where we get down to it. Enhancement sounds really good until you read this. So after attacking the opponents 7 times while character has piercing shot, he has to have piercing shot when he attacks. And then after 5 turns pass from the start of battle, then he will have the enhancement, okay? So no matter what, you have to wait 5 turns from the start of battle to have enhancement. Ideally, in most of my like PvP matches, I want my battle to be over by like turn 6, so I'll get 1 turn of usage out of that. I mean, sometimes there's battles that last longer, but most battles aren't lasting too long. There is climax battles, which are a little bit longer, where we can make a little bit more use of that, but I don't know. The turn stipulation based on the content in the game doesn't make a lot of sense to me personally, okay? People are going to argue climax battle is long form content, but it's not. I don't care. I don't agree. I don't feel like this is designed for that, but we'll see. Gives character tranquility for 3 turns up to 1 time. And I'm just a little bit salty, by the way. I'm going to backtrack for a second because I've seen stacking abilities or abilities that take multiple turns and they've been useless, okay? So I just worry about this becoming useless because, like, it's cool, but how often am I going to get to enjoy this new effect? That I want to be able to enjoy the character in its entirety, and I feel like putting a turn stipulation on something where we don't have like really long content in the game is not as much fun. Okay, anyways, continuing on. Gives character tranquility for 3 turns up to 1 time, so that's from the start of battle. After 1 turn passes while character is in a state of tranquility, reduces character's cooldown time by 1. By the way, if you don't know what tranquility does, it makes it so you can't land crits, but they also can't land crits on you. And then also, reducing cooldown time by 1 is going to be helpful because that means this becomes a 4-turn cooldown and then a 3-turn cooldown, which is pretty solid. After 2 turns pass while character is in a tranquility state, increases character speed by 15% for 4 turns. Like, that's cool, but it doesn't help us at the start of battle where the speed actually, in my opinion, matters more. And then after character receives 3 attacks from an opponent with damage taken restore, converts all opponents' burn status to scorch, which this I feel like is fairly easy to achieve, which is going to increase damage and their HP effects by 10%, and then for that lasts for 5 turns, which can be actually pretty good. And then the auto skill 2, Surging Flames, after 1 turn passes while character has piercing shot, gives all allies tranquility for 3 turns and frost immunity for 3 turns, so that's how you get more of your or Tranquility back up after the initial 3 turns of Tranquility. After 2 turns pass while character has Piercing Shot, burns all opponents for 3 turns. After 2 turns pass while character has Piercing Shot, increases character's defense by 15% for 4 turns, and then increases character skill impact by 10% after character receives 1 attack from a burning opponent or a scorched opponent up to 5 times each, meaning you can get up to 100% extra skill impact if you play this character correctly. You get extra defense, you have Piercing Shots, you have Tranquility, so you can't take crits. The Piercing Shot and the Tranquility both being on the same character is actually very strong, in my opinion. And then he has status elements. In my opinion, Todoroki looks like the better of the 2 characters. I would personally, I think, want him more looking at his kits, but I also think his artwork is a little bit cleaner than Deku's, in my opinion, as well. But we'll take a look at Deku here. So, the new Ruler of the Edge Deku, St. Louis Slash is his plus ultra skill. Deals 650% damage to a single opponent, gives cancel status element block to a single vulnerable opponent for 3 turns. So they have to be vulnerable, otherwise you don't get the cancel status element block. But I guess it's okay, but it doesn't do anything about status element nullification still. Cancel status element block, still not one of my favorite things in the game. Like, if it was something, if it did, like, gives cancel status element block and status nullification block, like, that'd be better. But, I don't know. Increases character speed by 20% for 3 turns if the opponent is vulnerable. Once again, they have to be vulnerable for this. And then increases this skill impact by 30% if the opponent is vulnerable. So, like, giving speed is good, but once again, he doesn't have any speed from turn 1, at least when I read through his kit earlier. So, it's okay. Enhancement bonus effect reduces character's cooldown time by 1. So you can reduce his cooldown times by 1 with his plus ultra if you are in the enhancement state. Once again, it's going to take you multiple turns to get to the enhancement state. His action skill 1, St. Louis Smash, deals 400% damage to a single opponent and makes the opponent vulnerable for 2 turns. So there's the vulnerable. You also got it on the other skill as well. Gives character a barrier that nullifies 1 hit when character has less than 2 temporary speed up effects. Gives character a barrier that nullifies 2 hits when the character has 2 or more temporary speed up effects. Like, the barrier is nice, it's going to make it so you don't take as much damage, but multi-hit attacks are a thing in this game, and they just shred barriers. So, like, I hate barrier characters. I literally, until they change barriers to take, like, multi-hit attacks as 1 attack, I don't like them. Okay, cooldown time of 5 turns. Action skill 2, Delaware Smash, deals 400% damage to a single opponent and makes the opponent vulnerable for 2 turns. Increases character skill impact by 20% for 3 turns when character has Piercing Shot. Increases character skill impact by 20% for 3 turns when character has 3 or more temporary power-up effects. Enhancement bonus effects, increases character's plus ultra gauge by 30%. So, like, his enhancement bonus effects I feel like are better than Todoroki's, but once again, it's going to be harder to get them and activate them. 5-turn cooldowns on both of his skills. His auto skill 1, Gear Control, gives character enhance when these 2 conditions are met at the end of a turn. So after receiving 5 attacks from vulnerable opponents, he has to be the one attacked by vulnerable opponents. So if those vulnerable you can only attack 1 enemy at a time. It's not a multi target attack, right? So if you target the same person twice in a row, right, that means only one of those enemies is vulnerable, and if they don't have an AoE hit, and they don't target you, right, then you're not getting hit by enemies that are vulnerable, and this whole thing falls apart. So getting attacked 5 times by a vulnerable opponent is going to be harder than you think, in my opinion. I don't know, it may be easy, it may be, but I don't see it being easy. I see it being a difficult thing to achieve to a degree. But good news is you have 5 turns from the start of battle to get attacked 5 times, so probably within 5 turns you'll achieve that realistically, but still, 5 turn stipulation, receiving 5 attacks from vulnerable opponents when you can only do single target attacks, I think that's a bit rough. Gives character the ability to use 2 normal attacks for 2 turns every 1 turn. This is nice. The additional normal attacks is going to be good for him. Hopefully he'll be a high damage output character with those normal attacks. After character attacks an opponent 3 times while having the ability to use 2 normal attacks, gives character Piercing Shot for 2 turns, so that's how he gets Piercing Shot. He will have that Piercing Shot on his additional normal attacks after that fact, meaning those normals will start to do more damage over time. After 1 turn passes while character has Piercing Shot, decreases power of all opponents by 5% for 6 turns and decreases speed of all opponents by 5% for 6 turns. Like, decreasing their speed is good, but once again, we're not going to be able to achieve that until after he's got piercing shot, meaning turn 1, it's not going to be helpful to us. And turn 1, in my opinion, is where speed matters the most. And then last but not least is auto skill 2, Unyielding Spirit. After character receives 3 attacks from vulnerable opponents, increases character's power by 10% for 10 turns, increases character's speed by 10% for 10 turns. Like, nice, right? But once again, the speed doesn't matter, and cancels 2 of the character's temporary status elements, okay? Like, it's all right. After 3 turns pass while characters affected by speed up, reduces character's cooldown time by 1. So good news is he'll at least be able to reduce his cooldown time by 1 this way, and you won't have to wait for the enhancement. Once you do get the enhancement, then it's like reducing his cooldown time by 2, which gives him 3 turn cooldowns, which is not bad. It's not bad. And then the enhancement bonus effects after character attacks an opponent 5 times while having the ability to use 2 normal attacks, gives character the ability to overwhelm for 2 turns. So he'll have overwhelm, he'll have piercing shot, he'll be able to do a decent amount of damage. He makes enemies vulnerable, right? He should be a good damage dealer with multi-hit normal attacks as well. Biggest problem is they have him built around speed in a way, and he doesn't have any speed turn 1. That's my biggest complaint. And second biggest complaint, no status elements. And third biggest complaint is I don't like cancel status element block. And fourth biggest complaint, single target attacks. Okay, there's all my complaints. But it looks like he could be decent. We'll just have to see. I don't know. Personally, I'm feeling Todoroki more than I am feeling Deku. But let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments out of those 2 characters. And then last but not least, we have Shigaraki. And then we will take a look at all 3 Plus Ultra animations. And you guys can let me know which Plus Ultra animation is the best. But honestly, Unawakened art for Shigaraki, bro, kind of sick. I mean, they're both really good. Like, can you see why I'm more hyped for this than the fantasy characters? I don't know. Just look at the artwork, man. It looks so good. Also, the kit. I like the kit. So, Plus Ultra skill, Assault Breaker, deals 450% damage to all opponents. That's right, now we're talking. Reduces character's cooldown time by 1. Just no need for the extra enhancement bonus, right? He just gets the action skill reduction, which is good. So 5 turns becomes 4 turns and 4 turns. Solid character. Increases this skill impact by 30% when character is affected by 2 or more temporary decay effects. Enhancement bonus effect, this skill gains piercing shot when characters affected by 3 or more temporary decay effects. Like, that is kind of insane. And AoE plus ultra, where he can potentially get piercing shot, could be really good. And then this skill gains the ability to use decay, which is going to inflict 20% of the damage dealt. Okay. So this Shigaraki already looking amazing for a free-to-play UR. His action skill 1 is called Ripple Assault, deals 300% damage to all opponents, once again another AoE, and decreases their power by 20% for 3 turns. By the way, this Shigaraki looks like he would work really well with Steampunk Shigaraki, just kind of looking at it, my opinion. Increases this skill impact by 30% when character is affected by 3 or more temporary decay effects. Enhancement bonus effect, this skill gains piercing shot when character is affected by 3 or more temporary decay effects. Shattering Smash is his action skill 2, deals 400% damage to a single opponent and decreases the opponent's defense by 20% for 3 turns. This screams to me that it would go well with the other Shigaraki. Increases this skill impact by 30% when character is affected by 3 or more temporary decay effects. Enhancement bonus effect, this skill gains piercing shot when character is affected by 3 or more temporary decay effects. So like basically he just gets piercing shot on all his skills from his enhancement effect, which is fine. That's actually not bad. His auto skill 1, Hyper Regeneration, gives character enhance when these 2 conditions are met at the end of a turn. So this is a little bit more rough. He has to not be making a last stand, which I think is kind of tough. And then after 7 turns pass from the start of battle, you have to wait 7 turns. Okay, but gives character the ability to make a last stand 6 times, up to 1 time. So you have to get rid of all those last stands to be able to activate his enhancement, which is a little bit hard. This buff cannot be cancelled or blocked, and it does not affect guest. Every 1 turn decreases character's max HP by 10% for 20 turns up to 5 times. So he's going to be a character that wants to live on the edge, but he doesn't have persistence. It's kind of scary. Last stands can be wiped out by multi-hit attacks so easily. So like the rest of his kit looks really good, and then this is the part where it's like, I don't know. And it starts to worry me a little bit, but he could be very good. He could be really bad. I don't know. This effect cannot be nullified or canceled and does not affect Gust. Gives character a barrier that nullifies 3 hits when character is not making a last stand up to 1 time. This buff cannot be canceled or blocked and does not affect Gust. So as soon as he runs out of his last stands, though, he does get a barrier, right? But what if they have multi-hit attacks? I don't know. And then enhancement bonus effects reduce the effective time of the character's temporary status element by 20 turns up to 1 time and restores character's HP by 100% up to 1 time. So if you're able to get this activated, he's going to heal back up to full health, right? Which is not bad. But it does take 7 turns, so you can't let him drop too low before turn 7 because then you won't get that extra healing, which is... like, it's a lot to think about when you're in the midst of a battle. And then his auto skill 2, Overwhelming Destruction, gives character the ability to use Decay, inflicts HP decay for 10% of damage dealt up to 1 time. After 2 turns pass while character is making a last stand, gives character the ability to use Decay, inflicts HP decay 10% of damage dealt for 20 turns up to 3 times. This buff cannot be cancelled or blocked, and reduces damage by to character by 5% up to 1 time. After 4 turns pass while character is making a last stand, reduces damage to character by 10% up to 1 time, and gives character Bullseye up to 1 time. After 6 turns pass while character is making a last stand, reduces damage to character by 15% up to 1 time. Enhancement bonus effect gives character the ability to nullify status elements and increases character's max HP by 50%. So after you're able to finally get his enhancement, he'll get piercing shot, he'll have extra max HP, he will heal up 100%, he will have status element nullification, he's just going to be a monster after that. But to get him to that point, it is going to take a little bit of work and a little bit of finagling and finesse, it looks like. I don't know. It may be easier than I think, but by far, probably the most interesting character out of the 3, and I absolutely love the artwork for him. But let me know what you guys think. Once again, down in the comments, let's take a look at their Plus Ultras. Okay, so we are going to go in order of how we show them. So we're going to start with Todoroki, then do Deku, then do Shigaraki. Let's see how these animations look. I have not seen these yet, so this is my first time. Okay, pretty typical intro. I don't know, I may be a little bit more salty watching these than I should be. It was alright. I mean, Todoroki finally got his sword, right? I guess that's okay. I don't know, man. It's alright. I like the ice at the start, and then it turns into fire right here. So he's got both of them, ice and fire in there. Kind of cool. I think I'm just a little bit too salty to really appreciate it, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. Okay, I'm already seeing Deku jump into the air, man. Is this going to be another boring animation with him just swinging a sword like Fantasy Version 1? I swear. Okay, that's just the intro. All right, let's hope this is... Bro, that's literally what it is. It's just... I'm so bored. I'm so bored watching this. Okay, that was better. At least the ending, like... Okay, that was pretty sick. That part, that was the best part of the whole thing. That was literally the best part of the whole thing. Wait, like right here. That right there was the coolest thing. Everything else, I'm just not feeling. I like it. Even Todoroki is the one I want. I don't care about this Deku. I don't. I mean, if you like Deku, right, and you're just a fan and you like collecting him, fair play. But personally, kit-wise, animation-wise, I don't know that I'm here for it. Personally, I'm not really here for it. All right, Shigaraki surely can't let me down. He's going to be sick. Free-to-play character is going to be the best one. All right, last but not least, here we go. This already, it's better. It's already better, man. Yo, you see the eyes? Oh my gosh. He may not have an intro or an outro like the other characters, but I like it. I'm not going to lie. Dude. I wish they would just give him an intro and an outro like the he deserves it. He actually deserves it. I am so looking forward. Look at this right there. And then they go red. Wait, can I if I can click correctly, guys. Sorry. Look, there we go. Yeah, look at that. Okay, if I could just ask them to make Shigaraki have an intro and an outro like the anniversary characters, I'd be happy. I'd be more happy, at least. What I really need is more content for the game, but yeah, let me know which out of those 3 animations was the best, and also let me know in the comments, do you agree or disagree with more content in the game? Do you think there should be more content? Do you think the amount that they're doing is enough? Do you wish there was more stuff to play in the game? Because if more people feel the way I feel, right? I mean, we're the only ones that can make a difference if they're... I don't know that they'll ever listen, but we could try. We can try to get them to listen, so... but I'm not going to get too upset yet because there's still time. There's still a chance, but I'm sure I'm just on copium at this point. But maybe they'll add something new into the game that's not Climax Battle, like a new mode. But here's to hoping. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Peace.